guys. Okay, hopefully this is all working well for you. I am using a new program called StreamYard, and I am so excited to be using it because I think it will be helpful. But as with all technology, there are glitches. So let's pray and hope there won't be any. Today, I want to come and talk to you guys all about this year and my homeschool journey. It has been a little overwhelming. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not sure exactly why. For those of you guys who don't know, I homeschool 6 beautiful kids, some with special needs, and I have actually been homeschooling most of my life as I'm a second-generation homeschooler. So I have been coming on and been doing this for a long time. This isn't new to me, and yet this year has been a lot harder. And I thought it would be good to just come on and share some of my struggles and things that I've been dealing with, because hopefully it might resonate with some of you. You see, this typical year for me is that I am the planning queen. All of my friends know this, and I've had many of them actually come to me and talk to me this year about, oh my goodness, Katie, I'm sure you already have things figured out. Or, oh yeah, you probably planned months ago. And yes, I did pick my homeschool curriculum quite a few months ago. You guys probably saw those curriculum picks back in I think April, But anything beyond that, and even those things have changed just a little bit. And I feel like this year has been a lot harder. I don't have things planned out to the T. We are actually starting school on Monday. Lord willing, that's the plan. And I have no clue what our days are going to look like. So I thought I'd come in here and share with you guys some of the reasons why it's been tough for me this year, or at least the reasons why I think it's been tough, and a few things that I've been doing to help me get more motivated and to help me kind of put things in place. But I want to be completely transparent. I'm a blank. I'm drawing a complete blank on this year, and it's been a lot. So I'm not coming and giving you all the tips and all the answers because I don't have them, but I am going to share some of the things that have helped. So what are some of the things that have made this year harder? Well, I've been a little overwhelmed by the new schedules and the extra tasks that have been added to my plate. You see, this year, we have had a lot of new things going on. I've got new schedules. We have kind of different staples in our school year. We have our tutoring that we do. We have therapy that some of my kids attend. We have all these extracurriculars, co-ops, and a lot of those things have changed this year. They've either changed the time or the day, or we've, said goodbye to some old homeschool co-ops and are going to be saying hi. I don't know what I'm saying. We're going to be trying new homeschool co-ops is what I'm trying to say. And it's been a scheduling kind of nightmare. At one point here, just a couple of weeks ago, we actually thought there might be a chance that my husband's work schedule might change completely. And we might go from a first shift family to a second shift family, which if you have ever done the second shift grind, God bless you, because it is not an easy life. We have done it in years past, and yeah, I was not excited about that. But it looks like that's been taken off the table as of now. So that's a blessing. But there's just been a lot of transitions this year. And I think I've been really overwhelmed by the amount of transitions and the fact that everything has been floating. Honestly, guys, some of our co-op stuff isn't even figured out. I know for a fact what some of our co-op planning is going to be because I just finalized it this Wednesday, but other parts of it, I am actually not even going to start figuring out until Monday on our first day of school. So it's just been a crazy one. So what can you do in those situations? Well, pray a lot, pray a lot during those transitions. But another thing is when you've got a lot of floating things to your schedule, when you have a lot of things in your life that are uncertain or that are, just aren't planned out for you and you can't control that. What I recommend doing is just plugging in one thing and working around it. Understanding the need for flexibility, understanding that things probably are going to change. So for us, that one thing is we looked at our tutoring schedule and we talked to our reading tutor that helps work with my kids who have dyslexia. And I was like, okay, what times and dates are we going to be working on? And we nailed down those. And I was like, okay, those are going to be some pillars. We knew that Bible study for church was going to be on Wednesday nights. We knew obviously what our Sunday schedule looked like. And then I was like, we're just going to kind of work around that. And it's been hard, but I think it's important to not feel like you you have to have it all figured out, right? We don't have to know everything, what every day is going to look like. And it's okay if this semester it looks like one thing and next semester it looks different. Okay. So give yourself some freedom and some breathing room to just take it day by day. So the second thing is when you're feeling overwhelmed by new schedules and by extra tasks is to consider getting help. I want to clarify this a little bit. I do think it's a good idea when you're feeling overwhelmed and overworked to sit down and write down all of the commitments you have. Maybe you have your kids in dance classes. Maybe you have your kids in sports or activities. Maybe you have a lot of church commitments, homeschooling commitments, co-ops. It's a good idea to look at all of those things and look at it and see, okay, what do I really need to be doing? Should I be doing everything that's actually on this list? They can be good things, but they may not be the best thing for this time. So assuming that you've already kind of gone through those things and figured out what your absolute must-haves are to do, if there's still trouble getting those things done, then maybe it's time to consider getting help. So we are actually going to get help this year. I have never done this before, but I'm very excited. I posted out on Facebook and was like, I could use a little help. I'm running Life of the Mundane. We've got some really exciting things I wish I could share with you, but are coming out very, very, very soon that are taking more of my time and energy. We're very involved in church. We do have extracurriculars and co-ops and of course, homeschooling. So I put out there on Facebook and just asked, hey, does anybody have a homeschool high school girl that would be willing to come couple of hours a week and just help me out? I didn't necessarily need childcare per se because my kids are old enough that they can kind of take care of themselves, but just a little extra help with cleaning or a little extra help with cooking. And was actually able to find a retired homeschool mom who is actually going to come and help me, and I'm going to pay her a little bit. It doesn't have to be expensive though. And if you don't have the finances to pay someone to come in and help, consider swapping with another mom, being like, hey, could you take the kids every other Friday and I'll take them the opposite Fridays? And that way you get kind of a work day to get things done. Or switch out and maybe you're willing to babysit somebody's kids so they can do a date night and they'd be willing to come in and help you do some cleaning or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be weekly. Even another thing that has helped me that I've done in the past, if you guys have watched me on Instagram, you probably have seen this, is that I actually wake up before the rest of my family on Saturday mornings oftentimes, and I will go to a local coffee shop and I will get some extra work done. And then I'm home by like 9 a.m. So when people are just starting to kind of move around, they tend to sleep in more on Saturday mornings. And just having help that way of my husband willing to get up and start the day and start them on breakfast and everything has been really helpful in helping me squeeze more in. But moving on, other things that have kind of overwhelmed me and made this year harder to get started is my daily schedule. I have no clue how to fit it in. And guys, I'm not coming to you and sharing like, I didn't know how to fit all this stuff in, and now I've got it figured out because I'm still working on this and we are starting school on Monday. It's a lot, okay? But I'm going to share with you guys what I've done that's helped in the past years. Again, it's understanding what actually needs to be fit in and what maybe you just need to say, hey, we're going to pause. We're not going to do that for this year, or we are going to do this for this year, but we're going to wait and add it at the mid-semester. We love to add a new piece of curriculum in in January after coming back from December, because it keeps things new and fresh and interesting. And so, yeah, there's a lot of ways you can do that. So after you've weeded through and decided what do you actually need to keep, then figuring out how to fit it in. One of the things that we like to do is use note cards. Now I cheated. I bought a little bit more expensive note cards this time just to save me some time because I am so overwhelmed. And so I got these smaller ones. They're already color coded and my kids each have an assigned color. They're already color coded. They're already small. And what I did is I wrote out on each kid's color what tasks they need to do that are independent work or that are things that we're not doing as a group. I know what we're doing as a group. I've got that scheduled down, but it's like, how does this work out with all the pieces here? So I wrote down on the note cards what each kid needs to do. I'm going to take out those note cards later, probably tomorrow. And I'm going to lay them all out on the floor and I'm going to look at and say, okay, this note card, okay, this only has to be done once a week. So we can put this on Friday and this needs to be done daily. And if I can have these two kids working on this at the same time, and if I can, coordinate, sometimes you can just do this by writing it on paper. Sometimes you can do it in your head, but when you're feeling overwhelmed, having tangible pieces that you can move around and adjust can be really, really, really helpful. Also, there's a lot of trial and error that goes into your daily schedule. Don't feel like you have to have it figured out before you get started. This is so important. It is okay, and I'm having to remind myself of that. It's okay to just get into the first day of school and say, ooh, that didn't actually work. Let's move that around. Or you know what? Maybe I have too much planned and we need to cut back, or we need to do this just once a week. So that's something I'm having to remind myself of. The third thing, and kind of the final thing that has been overwhelming to me, is how much prep I have to do. Again, I love planning. I typically am prepping school stuff all summer long. And I feel like I kind of waited to the last second because it was overwhelming. And I always talk with my friends. They'll tell you in the comments that I always say, we got to eat our elephant. How do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time. And so I feel like what was happening is I kept putting on my daily to-do list or on my goals, on my pretty planner from Plan, Prep, Pray. I kept putting on that sheet, prep for school. What does prep for school mean? Or I tell my husband, I have so much I have to do to prep to start school. And he's like, well, what do you actually have to do? Yes, Jill, it is my favorite phrase for sure, is how to eat your elephant. But I think what I realized is I needed to just brain dump. I needed to sit down and just write out all the things that were in my head that needed to be done in my mind before we started school. I needed to write it all down. I needed to group like tasks. So if there were several things I needed to laminate, I put that in one list. If there were several things that I needed to shop for supplies, I put that in another list. And then I actually looked at it and actually starred or circled the things that actually had to be done before I started school. Like really actually had to be done, not just in my mind had to be done. Having it done like that, though, helped me to figure out how I was going to take those bites. And it has helped me to understand, like, you know what? If I don't have the kids, whatever, if I don't have their schedule for their morning routine done by the first day of school, we'll just talk it out. Or I'll just write it on the board for that day. I like to have one laminated that they can check off. It helps them. It is something that I know will make the year run smoother, but it doesn't have to be done on the first day. And in some ways, it's actually good not to have some of that stuff on the first day, because you're always going to be working out kinks. You're always going to be trying new things. And yeah, it's just sometimes it's better to wait. Let's see. Okay. So all that to say, I'm going to get to your questions, I promise, or to your comments. I can't talk and read comments at the same time. It's distracting to me, and then I'll be all over the place. So just a few more things. I think it's important to understand that when you're having a hard year, that those do happen to every homeschool mom, even experienced homeschool moms, that we don't need to let the way that we start our homeschool year dictate how we finish it. Or the way that we finish it be dictated by how we started. No, whichever way you want to say it. The thing is that we can have a bumpy start to our homeschool year, and that doesn't automatically doom us to failure, right? It's a lot more about our attitude, how we go into it. If we go into our homeschool year going like, oh my goodness, all right, I guess we've got this, we're going to try and get through this, kids, this is kind of a mess, but whatever, it might be a rougher year. But if we come into it and say, you know what? Whatever I need to get done, please let me get done. And the rest, I'm going to trust you to work out, and we're still going to have fun, and we're still going to learn. It can change the whole attitude of your homeschool year. So don't feel defeated just because you didn't get to everything you wanted to get to, or you have no clue how the scheduling is going to work, or you decided to make a last minute curriculum change and have no clue what's going to replace, whatever you switched out. We literally just made a reading curriculum switch in the last week. So I totally get it. If you don't know how that's going to work out, that's okay. I think it's important to understand that a bumpy road, a gravel road versus a paved one are both going to get you to the same destination. Yes. Does some of that planning and that prepping, does some of that preparation make your homeschool day and your homeschool year go smoother? Absolutely. But even if it's bumpy, you can still get there. You can still accomplish the things that you set out to accomplish. It's just going to be a little rougher, and that's all right. And sometimes, honestly, a lot of times, honestly, those bumpy moments help refine us and refine our hearts. They help do more for our sanctification and our growth as a family as we go through those challenges. So don't let those things get you down at all. The big thing is to be thankful for the life that you have right now. That's why I named this whole channel Life in the Mundane, is because it's about those mundane moments. It's not about the big flashy lesson plans or the cool field trips or whatever. It's about those everyday mundane moments, and we can be thankful for where God's placed us right now. We don't need to plan for the Pinterest life we wish we had, or for, what I think other people's expectations are. We can plan for the life we have right now. We can enjoy that and find joy in that. Okay, so I'm going to check the comments. This is so fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. Let's see. Wendy. Okay, same. Yes. Transitions from a slow pandemic year to everything opening up. Yes. That has honestly been a lot of it. We went from like full force to going to no co-ops, no activities, no anything, to like, okay, now we're starting to transition back into things, but how much do we jump into? It's definitely difficult. Oh, also, what hours are second shift? Second shift can tend to be, it depends a little bit, but it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon till like 11:30. We have done third shift, first shift, second shift, split shift, 4 days a week, 3 days a week. We've done it all. It's crazy. Yes, Ryan, for sure. Those moving pieces are so rough to manage, especially for planners. Yes, the type A in me is dying a slow death, but again, sanctification. It definitely helps me grow, and it helps me to rely more on Christ, because let's be honest, we can't do anything in our homeschool day without God and without relying on him. And so this just honestly helps me to realize the truth that is always the case, no matter how planned out I am. And that's that I need to rely on him. Let's see. I put together a nice, neat homeschool schedule. I'm trying to figure out where I'm fitting cooking and cleaning, not during rest time. I need at least a little bit of work. Yes, absolutely. That is a hard balance, because sometimes when we do plan things out, we don't leave any margin whatsoever. And we need that margin, because things are going to go wrong in the day, but also because, just because we need rest. Like, we don't need to be running 24/7 at all, even though we like to. Yes, moving pieces, planner's nightmare. Absolutely. Let's see. Everything works perfectly except making dinner and cleaning. Exactly. Yeah, I can fit the school in. It's just the other stuff. That's the tricky part, for sure. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I say, hey, it's part of our homeschool, home economics. Yep. Fitting it in, getting the kids involved is huge. That's the other thing I meant to say. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place, but getting help, when I was talking about that, getting help can be an outside person helping you, but it can also be involving your kids more in helping with picking up, or maybe helping like another child with a subject. It can also be getting help by picking curriculum that's not as teacher intensive for that year. That can be huge as well. Yes, afternoon naps. Definitely. Oh, Jill, you're starting school on Monday. Yay. I'm a little late to the game. Honestly, guys, though, we do usually wait until the end of August or beginning of September, because years ago I recognized that that we have a lot of birthdays in August, and I realized that it was just too crazy to start with birthdays. So we just decided to start afterwards. Yes, Katie, this tip has changed my homeschool, fitting things in throughout the year and not doing everything all at once. Yes, we can feel like everything has to start on day one. And honestly, that's a good way to burn yourself out completely. So whether you're trickling things in per semester, whether you're trickling things in like, hey, we probably won't start our writing, our IEW. We probably won't start that till end of September. Just because I want to have the foundations in first before we throw in a lot of extras. Yes. Absolutely. Let's see. Wendy would tell you not to implement all the things at once. So true. So my friend Wendy over at Plan Prep Pray, if you do not know Wendy, you need to go check out her YouTube channel. I will link it down below for you guys when we get done with this streaming. And you guys should definitely check her out. So she actually has a couple of planners that she puts out. She has, whoops, it's upside down. She has a student planner that we are using and absolutely loving that I've made a video on. And I'm actually doing a giveaway of this over on Instagram. So be sure to head over to Instagram or Facebook actually at Life of the Mundane, and you can enter to win one of these. It's a printable, so you can print it out for all of your kids. And it's amazing. She also has one for moms. And she also has some other fun things up her sleeve. So you'll definitely want to go follow her so you can make sure to keep up to date with all of that. But she is totally the mom to go to when it comes to how to eat your elephant one bite at a time. She'll help you break it down for sure. I think I have to have everything laid out ahead of time. I don't have enough brain power to keep track of all the kids and homeschool unless I'm just following a checklist instead of instructions. Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the thing. I think we always strive for, or at least I always strive to have a plan so it can be like that. But I have to remember that sometimes if I wait for a plan to fall perfectly into place, we would never start. All right. When you don't have a certain curriculum you're following and ideas on how to put together activities and field trips to tie in together. Yes. Putting together your own curriculum can be a really neat and amazing experience, but it can also be so overwhelming. There are some great resources to kind of help you put that together. If you want to shoot me an email, at lifethemundane@gmail.com. I can try and send you some of those, but there are some great like unit study planners. I believe I have a few friends who've made some great videos on that, so I can definitely share those afterwards. Yes, Wendy's planner is a must. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. This is only my second YouTube live, and it's all new and absolutely crazy for me, the technology aspect, but I appreciate you guys being willing to come on here. I'm hoping to go live again next month, so be sure to subscribe and check out all the other great videos. Tomorrow, I have a video coming out that is all about visual timers, how to use visual timers, and I really think you guys are going to enjoy it. And then next week, we're talking homeschool goals and first day of school presents and all sorts of great stuff. So talk to you guys later. Bye.